Hi there, this is Crystal Hendren, and for this week's assignment, I am going to be discussing an innovative technology that instructors can include in their classroom to increase student engagement. The software or the technology tool that I decided to highlight is going to be PollEVerywhere. The website is polleverywhere.com. This company is a private company and they are located in San Francisco, California, and they were founded in 2007. Hart 2015 placed PollEVerywhere in the top 200 innovative technologies to use either in presentations at conferences or keynote speakers or keynote addresses or in the classroom for instructional teaching and engaging with their students. Um, Currently, the PollEVerywhere software is ranked 142 out of 200, out of the top 200, and they were listed much higher, about 74 points higher, or closer to the top, or let's see, I guess that would be in the top 100 since 2016. So they've just recently, in the last couple of years, have dropped out of the top 100, but still in the top 200, which is really good. It's been out for quite a bit, so since 2007. So we're looking at its 11th year, and I'm sure a lot of people are fairly familiar with it. So the first part for a tour, how it works. So this is the home page. How it works is the instructor or the presenter asks a variety of questions, and there's a whole selection of tools that the instructor can choose from as far as what they want to ask their students. And then during instruction, they would collect the live responses. So this is a live response tool. And then after, or I should say during the course, the students and the instructor will see the live results in the form of a bar graph, and it's very interactive with or I should say it's very creative. The instructor can design how they want the information to be shown on the screen, with including graphics or background pictures behind the graph, things like that, to kind of customize it to the instructor's taste. So the whole class sees the results, and then after the class is over, after the presentation is over, the presenter can go back and review or analyze the data because it's saved for them to be able to go back and review. Okay, so let's see here. Pricing. There is a free app, or a portion of it that's free for you to try out and to see if you like it. The free allows you to poll up to 25 people, and so you can try it out and see what you think. And then there's different packages for you to look at to choose from to see which package would meet the needs of for your classroom or your presentations. I've seen PollEVerywhere used in the K through 12 arena as well as the higher education, and I've also seen it done in conferences that I've attended. So I have seen a wide application of uses for this out in the real world. Let's see what else. Also under the how it works. No, not there. Actually, I want to show you my poll. So once you set up an account, if you establish an account, I just did a quick one here where you can create your questions. And so what you do as an instructor is you put in your questions in here, and then you select which ones you want to embed into your PowerPoint presentations. And these presentation apps, it works with PowerPoint, Keynote, Google Slides, and Office 365. The PollEVerywhere is compatible for. I've also heard that students can answer the PollEVerywhere questions using their Twitter account as well, if they have a Twitter. So examples. Here's the list of the examples that the instructor can choose from for polling the students. They could choose multiple choice questions. They can choose open-ended questions. They can type in sample like exam questions and have students respond to panel questions. Word clouds. I like word clouds. Those are very visual and fun to create. Let's see what else. They have donut charts, so they can look at statistics and see the breakdown with the class. One of the ones I wanted to highlight is the Myers-Briggs questionnaire. They actually have one already pre-made in here. The Myers-Briggs is one of the tools that I use when I work with students for learning advisement, and it asks students to select which four-letter personality type do they most align with? And I would provide students with the link for them to be able to take the free online assessment version for the Myers-Briggs, not the full one that you would pay for, and then report the results here. And again, this would be available for students to see the responses of their, as a whole group, the responses of their classmates or as the entire group that's in the audience. And the instructor will get that feedback as well, so they can see just the basic general makeup of their population of students. So those are applications or potential applications for Poll Everywhere is going to be, I see instructors using this as determining students' learning preferences, their personality types, such as the Myers-Briggs, just getting general makeup of their audience members, providing surveys for students to get formative, quick feedback on how is it going, any muddy points or fuzzy areas that need to be addressed, during the instruction. I can see the Poll Everywhere being used at that point. I can see it for exam review, going over sample exam questions as a whole group and having students select what they think the answer is and going through each of the answer choices. I also see instructors being able to use this for case studies to provide clinical vignettes and have students work in small groups, and then they can respond to the poll questions using their laptop, their smartphones, and even their flip phones would work for Poll Everywhere as well. So not everyone has to have a smartphone. So lots of positive implications for getting this live feedback right away. Much more savvy and than just asking students to raise their hand if they, and you fill in the blank. So it makes it more jazzy. It shows you visually using charts and graphs right behind the instructor on the big screen, and shows you the makeup of it. So very exciting and interesting and on-the-spot information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. And then it stores that information for you to look back on. Okay, provide a detailed demonstration. So I wanted to show you guys a presentation that I did during orientation, and where I embedded the Poll Everywhere questions. So we had learning styles. Go to present mode. And this is what it looks like. So I asked a question about, there we go. Sorry, I was clicking there. Asked a question about the VARK, the learning preferences, and asked if students, a couple of questions to determine if they're a visual learner, oral learner, read and write, or kinesthetic. So a couple of questions there, and we discussed what each answer response, what would that align best with. So you can kind of get a general idea. Then we go over the differences between the different modalities, and then we do the Myers-Briggs, and we poll them what their Myers-Briggs responses are for each of the 4 dichotomies. So this is the introverted versus extroverted polling question. So if we were, right now the poll is closed, but if it was open, students would pull out their phone, they would be asked to go to a website, or they could text in their answer and select whether from the 3 choices. Instructors can choose if they want the students to only vote once or to select an answer once, or if they can change their answers at will. The instructor has control over how many times they can answer the question, or if they want to just answer it once and then they're done. Okay, then we have the sensing and intuitive learner question, so we can see what the response will be. Thinking and feeling, go through the differences between each of the dichotomies, then have them report their responses. And the last one is the judging, or after thinking or feeling is the judging and perceiving. And then we have the poll question there. So that shows you how it can be embedded into the PowerPoint slide and getting that immediate feedback from the class. And then I wanted to show you the actual results for that. I have those here. So the bar graphs are stored afterwards for you to have and to analyze. So this one was the question. So actually, this was for our incoming PA students that started last year. This was last year's incoming class. And this was their makeup for their Myers-Briggs. So that's the first question, introversion and extroversion. Those are the results. The next question was this: sensing and intuitive. Majority of learners identified as being a sensing learner. So it's interesting to see, if they're evenly distributed, or if there's, majority is one way or a good mix of both. And then this was the third dichotomy, thinking or feeling. Interesting that a great majority of students were 60% feeling, which means they're highly empathetic. Wanting to help people, which is not uncommon for those who are going into healthcare professions. And then the last question is the judging and perceiving, and you see the breakdown there. Now, how can an instructor use these results how could they interpret them and use them in their classroom? Instructors can design their materials to reach, of course they want to reach everyone in their course, but they can be mindful of what are the majority of students' preferences, and to make sure to showcase those and provide a variety of ways that information can be shared with students to reach their individual preferences, and the ability to just pull students from from the beginning of the class, in the middle of the class, and at the end of the class. I think it just provides invaluable feedback to the instructor to gauge how are things going, what are their students' needs, and it gives their students a voice, which I think is extremely important. It also, I think, helps establish, a community, a sense of community in the classroom, and that there's a two-way dialogue, because in a traditional, didactic course, the instructor is doing a lot of the talking, and we've got to find ways to give students a voice and to allow them to share their thoughts and opinions. And this is a very non-judgmental way for students to be able to express their thoughts as a whole group, and to look at the whole breakdown of everybody in the course. So I think it's a fantastic tool for instructors to use if they haven't already given it a try. Okay, so I think that was everything that I was going to cover. I hope I look forward to hearing or watching your guys' presentations on innovative technologies, and learning as much as I can about all the other ways, additional ways for encouraging student engagement with the teaching and learning process. And I thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I wish everybody well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.